Good morning, people. I'm Greg Savage with YLC Club. I have other co-founders, co-managers to YLC Club, Mr. Lavaris Hopkins, Mr. Evo Silva. And what this is our initial fireside chat where we're gonna come and just drop some thoughts on you guys, share some things that we think are relevant right now and relevant well into the future as things are changing constantly in the economy. We're here in the US. Evo is actually down in Brazil, but we're predominantly going to be, talking about focusing on conditions and things that are, affecting Americans. We're going to do our best to make our comments, our thoughts and things be very neutral and be value added and not be something where, it's a bunch of sales hypes and things like that. We have solutions for a lot of the things that we may talk about. And, if you guys, want to come and see our solutions, that's great. But our primary objective is just to help people, have a greater awakening of what's going on and things that they may want to consider doing to position them to be able to better care for their family and themselves. All right. So why don't we just kick it around, Brother Hop? Why don't you go ahead, chime in, introduce yourself, and we spin it around and we'll throw out some impromptu, topics to chat about for a couple minutes there.
Sounds good. Thank you, Greg. Welcome to this Fireside Chat. We're excited just to be able to, share this information. Of course, we're a wealth of information. We've been around, as you see, we're not youngsters. So we're excited just to be able to talk about things that's affecting people today. That's just prevalent and things that's happening. So we're excited just to be able to share, especially with what's happening with the not only economy, but with this whole pandemic, this COVID-19. It's changed the world, and it shocked the world just the way it hit. So we just some things that we just want to be able to put on the table, be able to talk about. And we know a lot of people are struggling. We know the unemployment rate here in America is just crazy. It's unfortunate how many people lost their jobs. So we just want to share and just some feedback on some things that we've learned along the way, and some books we read and things like that. So we're excited to be able to do this, and we're looking forward and hope it's powerful and meaningful to you.
Brother Evo.
Yeah, I'm Evo. I'm actually in Brazil, so in South America. Although we focus completely in North America, but I'm really excited to be here as well and to contribute as maximum as possible to help everyone make sure that the economy not only bounce back, but it doesn't have the down effects that it's having at the moment. So we try to minimize them as possible. Yep.
All right. So just to give you guys kind of a quick overview of some of our areas of expertise. Evo we joke about it. We say he has 12 or 17 different financial degrees. He doesn't have quite that many, but he has more than a typical PhD does. Lavaris comes from the banking sector, as well as he's been involved in a half a dozen or so successful multi-level marketing companies before. I come from the telecom and real estate investing sectors. So we have, well over 30, 40, 50, years combined experience in identifying opportunity to improve processes or different solutions for various, industries. And these are transferable skills. So certain skills you can move from one industry to another. All you have to do is look to find the similarities and then make that transition. And what we try to do is look at ways to make existing off-the-shelf technologies, off-the-shelf services, make them work and make them perform, better, for you. And what we've noticed over the last, which kind of caught us by surprise, quite honestly, like it caught a whole lot of other people by surprise. But over the last, 4 months or so, what, COVID-19 has shown us is literally in the blink of an eye, the entire, world, basically, as we know it, can be disrupted. And fortunately for some people, they're going to see this disruption and they're going to figure out how to reposition themselves. Unfortunately, for the vast majority, they're not going to figure it out. And they're going to be in much worse position and condition than what they were. Now, we think that this is a great opportunity for a lot of people, and you don't have to be superstar people. You just have to be people that are able to kind of see some trends and figure out just a little bit of, adjustment here, a little bit of adjustment there. For some people, it's going to take, a full overhaul. You're going to have to, basically rip out that engine, rip out that transmission, and put a whole new, powertrain, in to get your vehicle running, in a effective way. But for the vast majority, slight adjustments, just slight adjustments and discipline to those adjustments are going to get you, significantly more than what you have been if you pay attention to the trends and apply certain things. I like to use the term, the cheese has been moved, because that's what has happened. And if you've read, Dr. Johnson's book, Who Moved My Cheese, you're familiar with that term or variations, of that term. And that's what, what we kind of specialize in, is identifying when the cheese has been moved, what to do about the cheese has been moving, and ultimately identify that, hey, the cheese is about to be moved, and get out in front of it. So over the coming weeks and coming months, as we do, these fireside chats, we're going to be, sharing things with you that you will be able to extract and hopefully get yourself out in front of that cheese being moved and be a trendsetter, instead of someone who's just reacting and trying to figure it out. We don't always have to be in a reactive mode. We can get into a strategic mode. One of y'all want to chime in on?
You got Lavares.
Don't take too long. Yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, yeah, I was pondering on that too, because there's a big shift that has to take place. And we know, as you mentioned, there are some folks that they prepared. They have more irons in the fire already. But those that don't, I mean, it's a lot of people that, we use the word complacent, are content, I have this regular 9 to 5, and I've been here for 10 years. I've been here for 15 years. I do an outstanding job. I get a certificate, every quarter or something. They love me.
They can't survive without me.
Yeah. But when COVID-19 happened, and a lot of these companies literally had to shut down. They literally had to close their doors. And unfortunately, some of these companies, they just don't have the financial stability to be able to stand strong during this time where there's no sales coming in. So we see it, and it's prevalent because the unemployment rate is, it's almost like the Great Depression time now. Millions of people filing for unemployment each month, new claims. And what will you do? Is this something that that you've had in the back of the mind, a vision or a dream that you've had to create a business, to do a business, but you just you set it on the back burner, because you were content in what you've been doing. So this has really been an eye-opener for a lot of individuals, and you really got to step out and not be afraid, because fear kills dreams. Fear kills dreams, and just from the fact that people, when you get in a situation like this, you got to overcome that fear and step out, and do something different, and put some irons in the fire, and, and and survive, because government, they're doing what they can, but for the most part it's only gonna last so long, so yeah, definitely, yeah, the cheese definitely has been moved, it's been moved, and how will you move? Yeah.
Yeah, what's
full
the
factor.
saying? You miss 1,000% of the shots that you don't take. So
That's
you got to
right.
step out there and take the shot. You got to take the shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about the comfort zones, because for so many time, for so many years, people been used to generation after generation of the 9 to 5. You go to school, you graduate, you get a nice job, you stay in that job for the rest of your life. You get retired, get your golden watch, and that's it. That's your life.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, actually no, you have to step out of that comfort zone, because all those guarantees, they just wash away. Not only people survive the paycheck to paycheck, but the companies do the same thing, and that's what we've been seeing. That's why they need to shut the doors, because they have no contingent plan. If they have no sales, they can't have the employees. Simple. And if we don't get paid, we won't be able to make the shopping for the rest of the month. Exactly the same position. There was no difference, because everyone was used to that comfort plan. It's always going to be there. The customer is always going to buy, always going to be able to sell. So my company is always going to perform 20% more next year. So we're good. And that comfort is been completely washed away. It's not the cheese, it's the full factory is being moved away.
The full factory. The full factory, yes.
See, that analogy that you use, because literally, we've heard the terms of, American companies, living quarter to quarter, where other companies, in other countries, like China, they may, live on a 5-10 year, schedule that they're planning. But you just said, companies, are living paycheck to paycheck too, which really we're seeing that, because you look at how many companies that literally they didn't have the ability to last 4 weeks without having some type of bailout, assistance. And that's it's shocking, it's sad, it's tragic, but it is what it is, So we have to figure out as individuals, how do we position ourselves so that we're not living, paycheck to paycheck, and it's something that unfortunately we're not alone. There's a lot of people in that same category. I was reading an article by Charles Schwab that was done, I want to say almost a year ago. It was mid-spring of 19, and they talked about, I think the exact number that they used was 59% of adult Americans identified themselves as living paycheck to paycheck and struggling to pay their bills, numerous times throughout the year. And they had a little footnote that said it could be as high as 80%.
Yeah, because everybody don't report. Yes.
Everybody don't report. And then they went on to say this is not something that, because normally when we think of living paycheck to paycheck, we think of people who they're making $20,000 or $30,000. So we think, okay, they make such a small amount, and they got 2 or 3 kids, household of 4 or something like that, household of 5. That's why they're struggling paycheck to paycheck. But this research indicated, I forgot what the percentage was, but it was reasonably high. It was certainly double digits. It was somewhere in the 23-25% of the people were actually making $100,000 or more. The household income was 6 figures, but they were still living paycheck to paycheck. So it's not just something that affects what would be classified as lower income or lower middle class. These are people living in nice suburban neighborhoods, probably have a couple, 2 or 3 cars sitting in the driveway in the garage, combined costs over $100,000. These are people that by all other indicators are doing well, but they're doing well as long as that paycheck keeps coming week by week or every other week. Miss a beat and they're catching hell. They're catching hell because their burn rate is so high. you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and it's crazy that you can think that one
They have
paycheck
much
and you
higher
be homeless.
expenses, living expenses.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
And, most of them, if you don't save more than 40% of your paycheck, you're gonna be in that situation. If you don't have it, you're in trouble. You need to save at least
Correct.
40% of your pay. And how many people do that?
How many people can do that, right?
It's
How
almost
many people can?
impossible. So
Yeah.
there's no escape.
There's no
That
escape.
breaking, it's complicated, and you
Yeah.
have to make those 40% of cash work for you.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you make that working like a bank does, then you're gonna be better. But you have to make your money work for yourself. If it doesn't work by yourself, you're in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have that discipline. I remember back. This is probably easily 10 plus years ago. A guy told me something that I didn't quite understand it exactly when he said it, but I certainly understand it now. He said, it's actually easier for a couple that makes $40,000 a year to get themselves situated and be financially free than it is for a couple that makes $150,000. And he said simply because a couple that makes $40,000, there's a higher probability that they can look at their expenses and they can make adjustments so that they can still maintain what they currently have while one of them does something entrepreneurial and then has the upside of what you get from the entrepreneurial side, where the couple that makes 100, 120, 150, their overhead, they run around with $6,000, $7,000, dollar mortgage, they don't have the ability to cut back. They probably went out and overspent on automobiles, so they got, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 mortgage and another, $2,500 worth of cars. That monthly overhead, is so high that they can't pull back to even create the latitude for one of them to really focus on something entrepreneurial. So they're more stuck than the people making significantly less. So a lot of times when we think we don't have enough, we actually are in a better position than those who on the surface have a lot more.
A lot more, yeah. Because it's funny how we're taught to just get a job, get a job, go to work, as Evo said, get your golden watch and retire. But the successful people have multiple streams of income. Multiple streams. And I think back, it was funny, we used to laugh, Living Color, for those that know, you watch Living Color, and the Jamaican guy, he had 7 jobs, we would laugh because, he got so many jobs going on. But in actuality, that's smart, because the more irons you have in the fire, the more irons you have to be able to continue cooking,
Right.
And when you just have one stream of income, we have a situation like we just had here with this COVID-19, to where when that stream is cut off, what do you do?
You're in trouble.
Where do you go? I mean, you're relying on the government, and of course the government can only do so much for so long. So by having multiple streams of income, you set yourself up to be in position to where you're not just waiting on one paycheck, but you have extra other money coming in, even if it's just a couple $100s a month you have coming in from these other streams. But you got 3 streams, it's kicking in a 300 here, maybe a 800 here, maybe a 500 here. Now you got additional $1,200, $1,300, $1,500, or if not more, coming in. And of course, the more you nurture it, like anything, the more will begin to come in. Yeah. So to position yourself and to think about it, that you can't put yourself in a position where it's just one stream of income. Even if you're trying things and it don't work and you fail, so what? As long as you learn it from it, you just keep trying. And make sure you have people in your corner that support your dreams, because you can't tell everybody your dreams, because you got dream killers out there too. So you want to make sure that you continue to pursue what you have envisioned. If that don't work, what's the next thing in line? Let me try it. But keep trying things, and don't just get stuck on this one job or one employment opportunity. You may be making good money, but if they decide to do a cutback, and I don't care how good you've been, I don't care how much money you thought you made them, if your position is going to be cut, they're going to cut you, and they'll cut your position and hire somebody half your salary. It happens all the time. So.
And companies don't do that. They don't have only one stream. If a company only has one product, is in trouble. They have multiples. You know, supermarket has thousands of products on sale. A dealership has thousands of different brands of.
How many products does a supermarket have?
Thousands, thousands of
really
thousands.
Right.
Yeah.
Even online supermarkets.
Yeah, well, they will have. If you think about it, they will have more than 1,000 products in a supermarket, most likely. Much
Four,
more.
five, 6, 7, 8,000, something like that.
Most likely.
Okay.
Probably.
I'm just being silly. Go ahead, man.
But that's different streams. So They don't have only one brand of water. They're gonna have 10 or 20 brands of water. It doesn't matter how many they have, the better they will be, and that's the success. And with us, you know, on the personal finance, is exactly the same thing. If we only have one stream, one job, one way of income, we're in trouble if something goes wrong. So we have to have multiple. There's no way around it.
What Grandma used to say, baby, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know?
That's right.
Don't have all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, I was being silly with Ivo when he was making a reference to how many products the supermarket has, because, you know, those of you who know about YLC Club, you know, that's our core, you know, product positioning. You know, we have literally thousands of, you know, essential, you know, grocery, non-perishable, semi-perishable, you know, products with our online store. So that's what I was joking about, you know, with Ivo. But go ahead, Ivo. I just wanted to qualify why I was being rude to you.
No, and like we have now over 5,000 products. We expect to have every single week more and more and more and more. And more we have, the better, you know, for customers and for our members. We have a solution, and that's the main idea. More products, more different streams, more ways of making a little bit. Even if it's a little bit, it doesn't matter. It already counts. It's better than nothing. So it's exactly the same thing. And it's now with COVID-19, is even a higher remark that people need to. You have to. If you don't adapt, you're going to be swallowed. Government will help for a couple of months, maybe, because they will be in trouble as well. If we don't pay any tax, they have no money coming in, they will be in trouble. If they start producing more money, recession will come even higher. So it's no way around it.
Yeah, this has been a true domino effect, because you look at the individuals that can't pay their rent. And you have individuals that are real estate investors that own properties that have you know, mortgages out on these properties. And of course, if the renter's not paying their rent, then of course, you know, if they don't have a nest egg, I mean, you only gonna spend so much of your savings on trying to keep your mortgage intact. You know, so now you're still talking about a high foreclosure rate. I have a strong mortgage background as well, as long as with banking. So understanding that it's a domino effect, you know. So now you start looking at, you know, all these foreclosures and these FHA loans, and so I mean it's a lot that can happen, you know, and then that affects the government, and now it's No,
you bought in real estate. Ivo and I were talking about this late last week, man. How many people who went all in on building an Airbnb business model?
Wow.
And you know, these cats have gone in. They have mortgages that they're really carrying directly, and then they've leveraged, you know, where they have, you know, lease obligations with other people who have mortgages, and all of it is predicated on being able to place the property on Airbnb.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That is amazing. Yeah.
But Airbnb took a hard stance on, hey, we're going to protect the customer. We're going to refund customers who have reservations. I forgot what the dates are, somewhere between March something and, you know, maybe the end of May. And
I had a brother that was coming here for the graduation.
They got a refund, regardless as to what's your refund option that you took as an Airbnb host. They gave the customers the refund. Now these people, you know, are stuck. They're trying to figure out some other solution for them. But real estate, when you are in real estate and you're using leverage, it is a gift and it can be a curse. You know, it's absolutely a gift because it can get you into those properties. That leverage can do that. But when you're heavily leveraged, and something like this happens, oh, it's a curse, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
that obligation is not going anywhere.
Anywhere.
You know, it's not going anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
So
a
we know
lot
it's
of
been
things that we do that are, you know, they're more risk adverse than what we think they are. And it takes certain conditions like this to remind us how risk adverse they actually are.
Yeah, because that was some eggs in all your eggs in one basket. A lot of people did do that with that Airbnb.
I got caught back in 08. I got caught back in 08, and you know, I just, you know, I promised myself I would never get back into real estate in the single family sector like I was. You know, I had, you know, back then, you know, on average $30-something thousand, $32,000, $33,000 a month worth of mortgages. You know, but they were all 1-to-1. Now, if I'd have had $30,000 worth of mortgages in an apartment building, you know,
now you got doors.
Yeah,
yes.
I'd have been in a much better situation. You know,
that's right.
But you know, these cats that are, you know, in the game and they have all these single families, it sounds good, it looks good until you get the other side of the coin, and it's always at least, you know, 3 sides to the coin.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Well, good.
All right, so Eva, what else you want to throw in here, man, before we wrap this up? Why don't you pick a topic, Eva, and just give the people a hint of what we're gonna talk about next week. Let's
next
go ahead
week.
And pick that topic now.
Let's go back to finances, because that's the most worry thing that everyone is on there for sure. So let's go back into the personal finances and the house income.
Okay.
And how can we, as a YLC club, can help?
All right. Okay. So with that, are we gonna we're gonna wait to introduce some of the terminologies that we use, or do we wanna kind of share some of the terminologies that we use, you know, with them now, or do you want to wait until next week?
I would invite the persons that are actually watching us to go to our website, have a look, bring questions, send them the questions around to us if they have any, and on the next one we're going to talk about it, and we're going to explain how we can help, or how YLC can help them to go through this bad path, and how we can make it an improvement to their financial situation, to the personal financial situation.
Right, now there's a link, and I can't say exactly where it is, but it's a link on the homepage that will take you over to our blog page, where you'll be able to just, you know, kind of sort through and look at all of these various fireside chats, and you'll also be able to post questions or comments or things like that we'll monitor, and we'll be able to extract those questions and bring them back and use those as subject, you know, topics to some of these fireside chats. And again, you know, we definitely have solutions for a lot of the challenges that people are facing, but we're not here to try to convince you or sell you on YLC. We're here to convince you that you do need to do something differently so that you don't get caught in this situation again. And if by chance it's with YLC, we are more than happy. But if by chance you find another solution that can help you and your family out, that is also more than sufficient also, because we want you to be in a better place than what you currently are now. Don't get caught, you know, when the tide rolls back out again with your pants down, you know, because 40 million of us, you know, have gotten caught this particular time when the tide rolled out. Yeah. So don't get caught again with your pants down when the tide rolls out. All right, Hop, you got some closing remarks?
Nope, just come back and see us each week. We'll be here to share. We're going to be transparent, open and transparent. You got some good guys here, and we're looking forward to bringing other folks on to be able to share their opinion as well, to be able just to give insight and be able to help you out, help the people out. That's what we're here. We're for the people. Always has been, and will be. YLC, that's your life crowd. I mean, we care. you know, this is what it's about. Okay. Thank you for watching this vlog. We appreciate it, and more to come, definitely.
All right. Talk to you soon, people. I have a saying that I like to say, you know, in all thy getting, get financial efficiency. And next week, based on the topic that Evo has selected, I'm sure we'll go into what that means in a lot more detail. All right. Talk to you. Have a great week.